Hey folks, please tell me you can hear me, because I think for the last 3 streams going live, yeah, we've had some pretty major technical issues. The problem there being, of course, that I'm a bit of a boomer when it comes to technology, but I think we are working. And today, well, Final Fantasy XVI, what do you know? Yep, it was sprung on us the last couple of days, so this is a nice surprise. And in just over 5 minutes, the state of play from PlayStation is going live. And as far as I understand, it is going to be pretty much fully dedicated to Final Fantasy XVI with at least 20 minutes of new game footage. Now, I'm actually getting quite hyped for this game. At first, I was a little bit uneasy because it seems to be taking things in quite a different direction, Final Fantasy-wise. Not only in terms of the gameplay, but also in terms of the theme. Well, I understand it's still going to be about, you know, icons and all of that good stuff. But in terms of the maturity of it all, they seem to be pushing a little bit into another direction. So I'm really intrigued as to how this game is going to end up being. Yeah, hi guys. Good to see a number of you in chat. Especially some familiar faces as well that I haven't spoken to for a while. So thanks for joining us. And yeah, what do you guys think of Final Fantasy XVI so far? Before we get into today's stream or tonight's stream from my point of view. You'll have to excuse me as well. I've had such a busy day. I am very, very tired. But I'm going to try and keep the hype alive. That is the plan. So let's switch over. Actually, there's no point just yet. We've just got the State of Play stream started up. But as you can see, nothing much is happening there at the moment. Hello, Soph, Bree, and Dad. How you doing, Dad? I know, Dad, that you are hyped for Final Fantasy XVI, aren't you? I've seen you commenting about it quite a bit on Twitter. Hey, Matthew, good to hear. J-Man, Kuposaur. Chris, yeah, definitely. I'm not all that familiar with the Devil May Cry series, and a lot of people I've been hearing talking about Final Fantasy XVI have said that it's, you know, been inspired in terms of the combat and what have you, and the gameplay from those games. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see when we get a little bit more into it this evening, if that is still going to ring true, which I'm sure it is. But, you know, it's a Final Fantasy game, so I'm sure the team over there are going to make it unique in some ways as well. Phenor, hello. Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. I was just saying I'm a little bit tired. It is quite late for me tonight. I'm not used to streaming at this time. Not at my age. But hey, a Final Fantasy XVI 20-minute state of play. Yeah, I can't really say no to that. Hey, Mark, that's wonderful. Yeah, normally I'm streaming a little bit earlier on, so it's going to be great to have a few people stop by that can't normally make the streams. And apologies, I never streamed Final Fantasy X this week. I've got a couple of things to show you in that game, which I'm going to be saving for next Wednesday. But I think we're going to be getting the Platinum on the next stream as well. So, yeah, those of you that are following along with that, I hope you'll be able to stop by for it. Yeah, J-Man, from what I understand, Final Fantasy XVI is going to be leaning in that direction. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was a few months ago, maybe even a little bit longer, maybe like over a year ago. They actually Square hired some really high up executive from the DMC franchise to come and work on what was, I believe at the time, an unannounced project, which we now know, of course, is Final Fantasy XVI. So, yeah, it seems that is something they are serious about. Hello, Red Mario. Yeah, doing a bit of a late live for me, so that we can catch up on some Final Fantasy XVI stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be open world in terms of, like, the map, Phenor, which, to be honest, doesn't bother me that much. I'm not the biggest fan of open world Western RPGs. I just don't really find that appealing. I've always enjoyed the more linear aspects of the Final Fantasy games, but I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be a little bit more of an open world aspect to FF16, but not full open world, if that makes sense. Okay, Dad. Yeah, I'm still playing through God of War Ragnarok at the moment, and really enjoying that. I think my main concern is I don't want to see it go the Souls route. I'm never one for being a big fan of the Souls games. I know that they are super popular, and I'm kind of in the minority there. But for me personally, that is the one concern I have. I don't want to see Final Fantasy XVI going that direction. Anything else I'll kind of adapt to, but please no Souls for Final Fantasy XVI, no Dark Souls. I mean, they've just released, well, I mean, it's a little, I say just, it's a few months ago now, Final Fantasy Origins, which kind of satisfied that urge, I think, for those that wanted it, so. Hello, Kyle. Yeah, good to see you. Ah, I've got penance coming up, Rob. I'm hoping to have that done. Right then, guys, so we're just about to kick things off in the next 30 seconds with the state of play. So let me bring that up. I'll unmute the sound. Hopefully you can hear me and the stream here. Let's see what Sony or PlayStation have got going on. 43,000 viewers. Very good. Seems a lot of people are hyped, doesn't it, for Final Fantasy XVI. That's not my stream, by the way. Okay, that's PlayStation's official stream. All right, guys. Here we go, then. We'll probably have to get through all of the other good stuff first before FF16, but let's experience it together. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that FF16 is coming before FF7 Rebirth. I'll turn it up a bit.
This is Naoki Yoshida, producer of Final Fantasy XVI, and welcome to the State of Play. Today, I'm here to talk a little bit about the story, world, and combat system of Final Fantasy XVI, as well as reveal all new information regarding the game's wide variety of RPG elements and support systems. We'll be talking you through everything while using never-before-seen gameplay footage running on the PlayStation 5. I hope you'll stay with us until the end of the show and enjoy everything we have in store for you. With that, let's get started.
Here we go.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant. And only the dominant. Focus, Wyvern. You are key to this mission's success.
Yes, Sergeant.
I said focus, Wyvern!
Home sweet home.
Allow me to welcome you to the world of Final Fantasy XVI. Final Fantasy XVI is the latest installment in the Final Fantasy series, a storied franchise with 35 years of history. Yet while this is the 16th mainline title in the series, there's absolutely no need to have played any of the previous games before jumping in. With a fusion of real-time action and RPG features, Final Fantasy XVI has been developed as the first true action RPG in the series. Using the power of the PlayStation 5 to its fullest, the game delivers an expansive, thrilling gameplay experience which we liken to a high-speed roller coaster ride.
Looks epic, but I want to see some of the mechanics and the interface really as to how it works. But we are going to on this stream, I'm sure of it. That's all the
protagonist
kingdoms.
of our story is Clive Rosfield, and his journey takes place in the realm of Valisthea. We follow the epic tale of Clive, Shield of the Grand Duchy of Rosaria, as it unfolds across 3 distinct periods in our hero's life: his teens, 20s, and 30s. While the story begins with Clive in his 20s, a fully playable flashback will allow you to experience the pivotal events that shaped his past and present. And thus does the curtain open on this newest Final Fantasy adventure.
Here we go.
Navigation in Final Fantasy XVI is driven via a world map, with locations being added and updated as players progress through the main narrative.
You can definitely tell it's still a Final Fantasy game here with this interface and the
world
menu
map
there.
can be opened at any time, allowing players access to all manner of locations across Valisthea.
MC Koi, thank you so much.
Here, players will meet new friends, encounter formidable foes, and uncover great and wondrous mysteries.
I loved that crystal. I'm guessing that is the crystal area for Clive's kingdom, since every kingdom in this game has a crystal from which it draws its power.
Next, I'd like to talk about the combat of Final Fantasy XVI. All the battles in the game take place in real time and are not turn-based.
Okay.
As Clive progresses through the story, he will learn a wide array of exciting abilities from the icons that he encounters. Now, let's take a moment to admire Clive in action.
I'm getting some vibes of Crisis Core Reunion combat here. Don't get me wrong, this looks fun as heck. I'm just concerned I am going to suck at this game. There's like numbers and fireworks going all over the place. I'm worried I'm going to be able to, I'm going to struggle a bit to keep up with that, but I guess it's one of those things we're just going to get used to.
The abilities that Clive wields have unique characteristics depending on the icon they are derived from. Players can use ability points collected by defeating enemies to unlock more abilities or upgrade existing ones.
Okay.
Can't decide which iconic ability to unlock or upgrade? No problem. You can let the game choose for you. Final Fantasy XVI includes a range of timely accessories to provide support to those players who may not be so skilled at action games, bringing them a truly enjoyable experience. Players are encouraged to equip Clive with different combinations of these accessories until they find the one that perfectly matches their own playstyle. A combination I can particularly recommend to those who may struggle with action gameplay is the Ring of Timely Focus and the Ring of Timely Strikes. This combination allows players to unleash a wide array of different techniques just by pressing a single attack button, as
now
well
he's
as
talking
shifting
to
into
me.
a window of slow motion whenever Clive is about to be hit by an attack, giving them a little extra time to hit R1 and evade. Alternatively, players could equip an accessory that fully automates evasion. As I said before, I really encourage everyone to discover the combination that works best for them.
Okay, they've got us noobs in mind as well. I'm happy now.
And for those who want to concentrate on the story, don't forget to choose Story Focus Mode before starting a new game. In this mode, timely accessories are automatically equipped from the start, allowing players to immerse themselves in the narrative experience without having to worry too much with the action.
Okay, so they are accommodating, like, older Final Fantasy
Clive will
fans.
meet many characters along his journey
And the
who will
newer
join
ones
him
also.
as friends and allies.
This place. These are fallen ruins.
Well, we didn't think they'd mind. And it keeps the black from our lungs.
But how do you survive without magic?
Sidolphus, who becomes a mentor to Clive. Jill, a friend from Clive's youth.
It really is.
Such encounters and reunions will set Clive on a path of great personal growth.
It is.
Clive!
Some of these companions will even accompany Clive on his adventures, fighting alongside him and finding lots to talk about along the way.
Yeah, they're going to be like guest
That's
companions, as they were in Final Fantasy XII, not full-fledged party members.
Party members are fully AI-driven, providing support for the hero and constantly adapting and responding to his actions. Oh, and we cannot forget Torgal. A smart, strong, and fiercely loyal hound, Torgal is always by Clive's side and willing to stand by him in the face of whatever cruel fate may befall them. Torgal will act of his own accord, but players can also give him direct commands.
Okay.
Just don't forget to give this good boy some treats every now and then.
Goots, get her upstairs.
But none will...
Don't fret about Karen. I've taken care of her fee.
All of it.
I love the way he's just
She's the best healer
carrying
this
her on his
side
back.
of the belt. You've nothing to worry about. Have a look around. I'll be in my solar.
After progressing somewhat through the game, Clive will gain access to Sid's hideaway.
Yeah, Big
Here in the
Tatsu.
hideaway,
It seems
Clive
to be.
will find a shop where he can purchase new weapons, armor, and consumables such as potions.
You'll not find a better price than that.
Well,
Blackthorn, a highly skilled
That's
blacksmith,
what I hear.
works the hideaway's forge, bring in materials to craft new gear or upgrade existing items.
Will do.
After upgrading your equipment or unlocking new abilities, try accessing the Arete Stone.
Crafting looks pretty standard, but that's cool.
Here, players can enter a virtual training area outside the bounds of time and space, where they are free to refine and practice combos of their very own. Once you're confident in your skills, try your hand at arcade mode and see how your scores stack up against players from around the world. The hideaway is home to a lot of other features as well.
I wonder if there's going to be like a Colosseum or arena in this game.
Not only will players discover a variety of side quests here, but they can also view information on quests offered all around Valisthea.
A nice, clean-looking map. That's what I love to see in my role-playing games.
All right, Clive. Still busy saving the world?
mid. When did you get back?
Muggles! They're called icons, Macajacka.
Back so soon.
Good to see you, by the way, mate. It's been a while.
Visit the hunt board to gain information on elite marks.
Okay,
Here's some
hunts
foes
are back.
lurking about the realm in desperate need of slaying. The Moogle will be your guide.
I like the way they're taking all the favourite features from previous Final Fantasy games here. I think we can do
There's
better
also
than Rank C.
Lordesman Harpocrates, who will unlock Valisthea's secrets as Clive recounts tales of his adventures.
And the pixel art.
I have quite the find for you today. You wish to study the tomes?
Here for another of my lectures.
And Vivian Ninetails,
What is it that you
a
wish
scholar
to
and
learn?
strategist who will be
Here's the
more
latest
than happy
information
to
I
explain to Clive the current state of the realm and provide information on key players. There are all kinds of interactions and features in the Hideaway to help players get even more enjoyment out of their time with Final Fantasy
Is
XVI.
ever changing, Clive.
Oh, I hope there's not going to be an affinity system. I don't like affinity systems.
On his travels, Clive will encounter a wide array of fearsome foes. of course, clash with the dominants who wield the power of the icons. Colossal beasts who hold the surrounding lands under their sway. Mysterious constructs of the fallen, a civilization shrouded in mystery.
Does anybody else get the feeling that the optional endgame super bosses in Final Fantasy XVI are probably going to be the hardest we've ever encountered? Because I do.
Cannot forget the icons themselves. Experience unparalleled real-time action combat as Clive takes command of the iconic might coursing through his veins and shatters his very limits. The shining point of Final Fantasy XVI, however, has to be the breathtaking icon versus icon battles. Epic confrontations all play out in real time, allowing players to control their very own icon with their own hands. These battles differ depending on the icon encountered, and every showdown is unique, right down to gameplay. Players will experience everything from a 3D scrolling shooter to a heavyweight wrestling match with devastating attacks that encompass the entire battlefield. These massive scale boss battles are entirely seamless, and I can promise you heart-stopping, controller-gripping excitement. I can't wait for you to get your hands on the game for yourself.
The way I understand it is the dominants actually transform into the icons, don't they? So Clive will transform into the icon.
So everyone, what did you think? Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Final Fantasy XVI will be available worldwide June 22nd, and there's still plenty that we've left to reveal. Battle content, side content, endgame content, and more. We hope to bring you more on these aspects of the game in the near future. Also, I'm truly excited to finally be able to reveal that Final Fantasy XVI's main theme was written and performed by one of Japan's greatest recording artists, Kenshi Yonezu. We've still got a lot more in store for you in the coming weeks, and I hope you'll all pre-order the game and join us in Valisthea on release day. This has been Naoki Yoshida, producer of Final Fantasy XVI. See you again soon.
16プロデューサーの吉田でした。
Okay, you know, I was kind of hoping for a demo announcement. I thought we were going to get one at the end there. Right then, folks, what do you think? I'll tell you what, I am hyped, okay? I'm not going to lie, after watching that, I am hyped. There's a couple of things I'm still a little bit nervous about, how I'm going to adapt to the combat and what have you, and I'm not really an action combat-oriented person, but it sounds like Square are accommodating, like, different types of gameplay and stuff. They did talk about the accessories and that you can equip to really help in those various areas, so that puts some of my issues to ease. However, there is a lot that I'm excited about. First off, the general presentation, presuming that this 20 minutes we've just seen is representative of the final game, which I'm sure, you know, it's going to be pretty close to. Assuming that's the case, then the overall presentation, the overall grandeur, the scale, the epicness, I would suggest it's shaping up to be perhaps one of the most epic Final Fantasy games so far. It really is. Those icon on icon battles look like something else. They really do. And even the standard boss fights that we were seeing without the icons looked like a heck of a lot of fun, I've got to say. And the other things I like, the music, especially when the choir kicked in, I was getting goosebumps like I did in some of the other Final Fantasy scores from, you know, previous games, some of the best scores. Final Fantasy XV, for all of its faults, I thought had a brilliant soundtrack, it really did. And it seems like Final Fantasy XVI is going to have a similar style of musical theme to that. Yeah. Other things I liked, okay, I think I'm liking the quest system. We didn't get to see much of it, but the way that you can interact with the main story quest along with the side quest and have them tracked, it's pretty standard stuff. We've seen it in games before, but I think it's a system that works well, and I'm glad to see that it's something that's being embraced here in FF16. Of course, we know it's a Final Fantasy game. There's going to be plenty of side quest content for us to do, but one of the things that I think sometimes doesn't work well with side quest content is, first off, if you have a map that isn't clean, okay, that's a bit of a pain to navigate around, it just makes that sort of questing not all that fun. But I've got to say, the interface and everything, it looks like it looks good. It does, it looks good. And yeah, it seems like they're taking all of the best parts of the previous Final Fantasy games, perhaps the more recent Final Fantasy games from 12 onwards. Even the games that perhaps people don't like so much, and yet even those games have some good points that maybe they are drawing from here. It looked like the stagger system was making a return. I'm not too surprised about that. We saw an iteration of it in Final Fantasy VII Remake. It just seems to be a mechanic that Square are embracing right now. The hunts from Final Fantasy XII look as if they've been pulled straight out of that game into Final Fantasy XVI, which I'm fine with. I really enjoyed the hunt system in FF12. It was a great way of, you know, having some additional extra content that you could ignore if you wanted to. But some of the toughest fights in FF12 were linked to the hunt system. And there were some other systems as well that are slipping my mind right now that have, you know, clearly been inspired from the previous games. So yeah, even though I still have my concerns, especially regarding combat and the direction that Square are going in, and even though they are obviously trying to present FF16 as a more mature Final Fantasy game, I hope they don't go like a Game of Thrones type route. I just think that's changing things a bit too much. I don't think they are, though. But even though they are making those changes, they're evolving, I guess, the franchise. You can still clearly see that this is rooted in traditional Final Fantasy in many ways because of those other systems. Obviously, we saw the Moogles and the Marlborough. Didn't the Marlborough enemy look absolutely disgusting, as it's supposed to? And we saw Chocobos. So, yeah, it's still a Final Fantasy game. And it's one that I'm more hyped for now than I was before the stream started. And I'm really excited to... get some icon-on-icon action. Let's hope there's no Yas Mass. Oh, yeah, please no hunts with enemies that take 2 hours or 4 hours to kill, as Yas Matt did in the original FF12. Yeah, absolutely, George. Yeah, that's one of the things that I really hope for in this game. Because one of the things about Final Fantasy traditionally is the choice you get in how you play. So normally, if you're playing a Final Fantasy game, you can just focus on the story, take the challenges as you get them, and you can certainly enjoy the game in that way. Or you can sort of go off the beaten track, do a little bit of grinding, a little bit of leveling, and by putting that extra time in, you can kind of trounce many of the story bosses and what have you, and sort of feel rewarded for your efforts for putting in those extra hours of farming. I'm hoping that's going to be back in Final Fantasy XVI, because then even if the combat is a little bit excessive for somebody as noobish as me at action-oriented games, we can still spend a bit of time farming enemies, doing some optional hunts and side quest content, and building Clive up, getting him stronger, so that even with our noobish skills, we are able to push through the story, and some of the other fights then a little bit stronger than we otherwise would be. Yeah, definitely, Prime Lever. So it seems that Clive is going to be the only playable party member. However, you have the dog, who you can issue commands to, and you will have guest party members that are fully AI controlled. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think I heard that there might be some kind of rudimentary gambit system a la Final Fantasy XII style for those AI controlled party members. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But the only playable character in battle, in combat, as far as I know, is going to be Clive. Yeah, please, Phenol. I hope Square aren't going to be shoving that rubbish in. I really do. Yeah, Adamantoise. Yeah, that's a bit of a slow one as well with its heavy defensive shell, isn't it? Hello, Rico. How you doing? But honestly, I am really looking forward to playing this. I was kind of hoping, however, there was going to be a bit of a demo. There were rumours to such, but I think it was more people just wanting it rather than actual legitimate rumours. But hopefully there will be a demo before the game launches in June, because traditionally Final Fantasy games, at least the last 4 or 5 Final Fantasy games have had demos, haven't they? And that will just really give us an idea as to the combat. I think Square do need to do that, because a lot of people, even in the chat of my own stream here this evening, have said they're on the fence about buying the game because they don't know how it's going to feel to play. So I think Square need to put that demo out so that people can really judge as to whether this is going to be a game ultimately for them. Now, of course, for me, I'm going to be playing it regardless, because it's kind of what I do around here. It's a Final Fantasy game. Yeah, that's true, Dad. That's true. And then as the patches and DLC came out, you started to be able to control the other party members as well. And then even in the main game, you were able to do that, weren't you? Hey, Papa Lucho, thank you so much. Yeah, good tip. Always knock it up to 1080p. That's what I tend to do. get the best quality, although Sony's state of plays always have a little bit of pixelation to them. I'm not sure why that is. It's unfortunate, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to the hunt system, as long as it's not going to be tedious. I think Square will want to do that well, but if they do, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the side quests, though I hope they're going to be decent side quests. I'm looking forward to the icon on icon stuff. In fact, I'm intrigued by the whole combat system, especially with the choices that Square are giving us to try and adapt it to our own play style. And the music as well. I always get lost and absorbed in a good Final Fantasy soundtrack. And the game itself, it looks gorgeous. It really does. So, all right then, folks. Well, that has been my reaction, my live reaction to the Final Fantasy 16. I was going to say Final Fantasy 6 then. Final Fantasy 16 State of Play. Obviously, any more Final Fantasy 16 news, rumours or tidbits, I will make sure to share with you, folks. But I'm sure that once the game comes out, there are going to be patches and DLC and all sorts as well that Square are going to be adding to it. But I'm happy, actually, that Final Fantasy 16 is coming out before Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Because I'm looking forward to both. But I feel like if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was out first, I wouldn't even be thinking or caring about FF16. But as it is, I'm looking forward to them both, if that makes sense. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some epic hunts, Art Blast. I really do. Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Have a good evening. I'll be back next Wednesday for what I'm planning to be the final, yes, the final live stream of Final Fantasy X. The Platinum Trophy is hopefully going to be ours that day. So that's on Wednesday. Nearly 2 years we've been working on that series, so we're going to put that to bed at last. But thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anything in chat there. I don't think so. Yeah, seems to be Soul AI. Gorgeous and ambitious. Yeah, thanks, Dad. Soph and everybody else, appreciate that. Yeah, you know me, I'm going to be trying to get the Platinum Trophy for this game as well. I mean, I won't stop with FF10. I've got a nice collection of them now from the FF franchise. Oh, you're very welcome, Papa Luco. Very welcome indeed. Okay, guys, take care. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks for stopping by and watching the live reaction.